Just open our phones?
Yeah, if you don't mind, sorry about that.
It'd be good to leave these up.
Mr. Kelly, can you explain the rule on that?
From what we understand, Your Worship, if you're at your desk, once everybody is seated, being that it's not open to the public, you can take off your mask.
If you move, you have to wear your mask.
Yes, Your Worship.
Correct?
Correct.
Okay. You're all set there, Councillor Yankoff, Councillor
Finding notes.
Bird, Councillor Tweed,
Search for
you're
them.
all right together?
Just find the agenda here.
Yep, me too.
And there should be two agendas, correct, Mr.?
Yes, Your Worship.
There we go. All right. Got it. Thank you.
Thank you. You on there, Councillor Clyde?
Just fine here, I'll be good, Jack, I know where it is. Thank you.
Okay, any, okay, declarations of conflict of interest, any?
See now?
Okay. Approval of agenda.
Your Worship,
Councillor Yankoff, my Councillor
Your Worship, before you do,
Ramsey? Yes?
there is a request of Public Works to add 3 resolutions in terms of capital projects that have been approved or underway in this year's program. And they are for the $30,000 to add to the current sidewalk construction. There is $582,709 towards the construction of Towers Road. And there is also the ask, there's one more,
Do you have another item to add?
Sewer and water.
yeah, for the sewer and water on Nash Drive, Your Worship.
Sewer and water, where on Nash?
Yes, Your Worship.
One second, just one second, please. How many other, Mr. Kelly?
3.
Three. Okay, Councillor Roberta, do you want to say
Yeah, no, I
something?
was gonna say, is Terry Bernard online, Captain Bernard?
Yes, he is.
Oh, he's online, okay,
Yes.
so we know.
And so is Councillor,
Yeah, no, I think Captain Bernard was.
Councillor Tweed.
Yeah, on the Towers Road, does that also include the active for transportation?
So this is just for the roadway going from Towers Road to Spencer. That's all that's involved with this piece.
Okay, but I thought that when this was discussed a number of months ago,
Here,
Yes?
I do have a question for the mayor,
Okay, we're just on Council Trio first, just stand by.
Just one second. Go ahead, Councillor Tweed.
so, correct me if I'm wrong, Scott, but back when we said we were gonna do the work from Towers Road to Spencer Drive, in the interim, the engineering work was done for the active transportation south side of Towers Road, from Mount Airy Road down to the roadway to Spencer Drive. The understanding was at that time, you do all the construction, you do all the construction at once. I can tell you that, Mr. Adams will verify it, there's at least 20 emails or more in the Public Works Department where residents are stating unequivocally that it's very unsafe for the pedestrian.
Point of order, Your Worship. Is this about the agenda, whether we're past the agenda or not?
I think that's what we're discussing.
That's what we're discussing.
Yeah, but you know what? Do you want to add it or do you want to delete it? What do you want to do?
Well, what I'm asking is,
No, but do you want to add or delete that? Like,
like I said, I'd like to add it.
hmm?
I'd like to add it.
Okay, is it added to the agenda?
Well, you-
Until Council agrees, Your Worship, none of these 3 are yet added to the agenda.
Yeah, so right now we're voting on whether to add it to the agenda.
And
Okay.
it has to be unanimous, Your Worship.
All those in favor of adding the items to the agenda?
Can I just appoint,
Councilor Bernard wants to talk, Your Worship.
Go ahead there, Councillor Yankoff.
I just wanted to make a point that you and I have to be out of here at 4:45.
I know.
So I'm happy to support them to go on, but at 5:15.
Quarter.
5:45, we can't be late. Okay.
Councillor Tweedle, or Councillor Bernard.
Yeah, I'm just curious on letter C, the proposed legislation. I wonder why we're dealing with a provincial issue.
Okay, so the issue is, as Mr. Kelly could point out, Well, do you want to leave it on the agenda or do we have to discuss it now?
So you
Well, to me, we don't have to say yes or no, so I would leave it for the problem. I wouldn't even discuss it.
That's what we're going to get to when we get to the agenda item. We're not going to have a debate about the agenda item because we just told Councillor Twill he couldn't provide any background to his issue. So, do you want to leave it on the agenda?
I don't, no, I think it's paid off, that's my opinion.
Okay.
We have to deal with the first three. First up, we already have, that one's already on, which can be taken off, but these need to be added on, so we need a motion to either it is on the.
Your worship, if you're going to pass these three, Councillor Twill is not on these three.
Okay, so I'll add, thank you. I'd like to add that component.
But then that just opens the door for everybody else to add components.
Well, we're here, council's being asked to approve 3 resolutions.
Yeah.
One of them is relevant to infrastructure work, which we discussed in previous months. So the old saying is true, come one, come all.
Could I just interject for a second? I disagree with Councillor Twill and his statement to saying that we're going to do the work, we're going to do it all at the same time. That's not true. What we're going to do, but we said we would do the work out there after the other development work in that area was done, because simply we didn't want.
Okay, so we're discussing the issue.
That's right.
So why don't we just vote on the 3 resolutions?
And I'd like to add that
Yeah,
for discussion purposes.
that's an additional item. Add 3 resolutions. All those in favor of adding the 3 resolutions, please put up your hand. Okay, Councillor Bernard, yea or nay?
Sure,
Councillor Drawn?
in favor.
Okay, so 10-0. Now, you want to add something to the agenda, Councillor Twill?
I just want to add that part to that resolution.
You can't really add that part to the resolution. You want to add something new to that.
Okay, let's add something.
What do you want to add to it?
I want to add the active for transportation.
To run down Towers Road on the south side?
That's right.
Okay. Okay, all those in favor of putting that on the agenda, please put up your hand. 1, 2, please put up your hand.
Your worship, would that be an amendment to the motion?
No, he's just added something
It's a
separate.
new addition.
He's a new addition.
Well, but keep in mind, we're not gonna be here. There's not gonna be time.
I don't
No, let's get the,
So-
all those in,
Is
just
it
one second.
is it
Hold
discussion
on.
only?
Yeah, discussion.
And
Yeah.
so
No, we have to add it to the agenda.
No, for discussion only.
That's right.
Fine.
So, all those in
Yeah,
favor,
for
please put up your
discussion.
hand.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, okay. All those against? Councilor Bernard?
It can't be added.
What's the agenda?
The actor for transportation.
Yeah. Can't be added, because it has to be unanimous. So you don't have unanimous vote. Okay,
Just wait, can I get the motion, Councilor Bernard?
doesn't matter, because,
There's a couple of people talking, I can't hear. What's the agenda item you want to add?
The actor for transportation on the south side of Towers Road, Councilor Bernard, where residents have sent a number of emails, and it's extremely dangerous, and they'd like to see that work go ahead.
no,
So I'd like to have a discussion on it.
there's one person against it, so it doesn't go.
I thought if we approved those 3, we'd have a discussion on it.
Okay, now, we got the agenda in front of us, and did you want to remove C there, Councilor Bernard?
I don't see why we would be discussing something we have no say on.
Now,
That's my, if we're getting involved in the topic here, but there is a topic that we don't have any jurisdiction on, so I'm not sure why we would want to discuss.
because we had a text and a phone call from the minister responsible for municipal affairs last week, and he asked me if I wanted to make a statement, and I said, no, I'm only one office. There are 2 offices, office of the mayor and office of councillor, and that's why it's in front of us. So all it is to give you some background on it, and then hopefully we can forward to FPEIN. That's the reason. So the minister has asked us to consider it. Okay, can we move on?
Okay.
Okay. Let's get going here, guys, because as Councilor Yankoff said, we have to get going. Councilor Rivera, do you have something to say? Okay. Utility resolution. It's in your package, so please just open it up in your phones.
We have in front of us now.
I'm gonna read.
Yes, Your Worship. Your Worship, moved by Councillor Duran, second by Deputy Mayor Cody, that the primary clarifier collector drive assemblies for the Charlottetown Pollution Control Plan to be purchased from Equava Water Technologies in the amount of $225,012.68 plus applicable taxes, Your Worship.
Any questions?
Questions called?
Let's go. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Councilor Bernard? Councilor Bernard?
Aye.
Councilor Drawn?
In favor.
10-0. Okay, sir, you have another one there?
No, Your Worship.
Okay. So, the next item, just 1 second. The on-street parking, I did send out an email from the Premier, Dennis King, and the email was sent out by Doug Dumais. I don't know if you received it, Councilor Twill, or you didn't. It is all part of Love Local PEI campaign that started last Friday, and they're trying to create an atmosphere in the downtown to buy local. So they have offered to put $15,000 in funding to the municipality to waive all parking fees for on-street parking between now and January 1st, 2020.
Has anyone discussed this with Downtown Inc.?
Downtown Inc., I believe, are not for it.
They're not for it?
No,
Yeah.
they're not.
I would imagine the problem is, that's what part of this came from.
Well, no, it came from the province. If we send it out to your email, and it's.
Yes, no, I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, so,
I'm in favor.
just 1 second. Councilor Bernard, if you can just give us a moment here, I want to get your opinion there, Councilor Yankoff.
I did reach out to Downtown Inc. just because I know it's a downtown thing, and she had gotten some information that it was going to be asked. She rallied around to some of the businesses. Now, I can't speak for the other businesses. I can only speak for what she had reiterated to me, was that she wasn't sure if it was should be so cut and dry. She's worried that the people that are working downtown would grab the spots instead, and that we would end up with people coming downtown and saying, well, there's nowhere to park, and then heading back out of town. Just looking, maybe there's a compromise. Maybe we can do, retro, like $1 or something like that, and get the meter people to kind of back off a little bit and be more forgiving of meters that, just maybe there's a compromise. Or maybe we need more information from Downtown Inc. first, because I don't know if she's speaking for all the merchants or not.
And I
don't
think
know.
as a municipality, we have to speak for not just DCI, but the whole
Exactly.
municipality.
Yes.
So I think our vote will reflect all of Charlottetown, not
Okay.
just, that's all.
Yep, no
That's-
problem.
And I think
Yep.
the gesture from the Premier and the Cabinet is, look, it's going to be tough times for local businesses, and anything that we can do to support them will be a big help. Councilor Rivard, and then
Yeah, thank you, Your Worship. Just two comments, or one question, one comment. Firstly, I'm in support of it. But secondly, just want to be clear, and again, this is not a shot at Councillor Yankoff in any way, just want to make sure that we're protecting ourselves here. Councillor Yank is not in conflict, that she sits on the DCI board in this home, is she? And I mean that, just to make sure no one gets in.
Well, we're not,
yeah, she's not getting any
I'm not getting-
financial benefit from it.
No.
No, but she represents DCI, who's not in support.
No, she's not a representative of DCI, she's a representative on DCI.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
But I'm in support of it.
Yeah.
So-
Okay, and I just want to make sure no one.
Yeah.
Councilor Tom?
Thank you. Just to second what Alana did say was, I think I sent you an email response today when you sent it to Dennis King, and that was my exact words was, is there any way that the businesses, the chamber, DCI, whoever, can guarantee somehow that the staff are not going to take up all these parking spots?
And that's a good point, so that's up to the chamber and DCI to tell their business, the membership, please,
Yeah.
do not use this parking space as free parking
Yeah.
space. Please allow approval.
I think it would solve some of, it's great to have free parking, but if it's just going to be used up by whoever and anybody and not the shoppers, well, then it defeats the purpose. Anyway, thank you.
Councilor Yankoff?
Just, yeah, would there be free parking in the parkade so that the staff people could go in there?
It's only street
It's only for the meters?
Yeah. That's it. Because the parkades fall under CADC, they manage
Okay.
it for us.
Yeah.
So we didn't want to get into that
Sure,
beehive.
sure.
Councilor Ramsey?
So what I'm hearing is that the province is willing to give us $15,000 to the end of the year.
For the month.
And then our meter maids, or whatever they call it, will not be going around taking it.
No, they will not be. But they could be doing what they did during the, from March till end of July. Any of those drivers or users are parking illegally, they will be.
That's fair.
That's what we did during the,
Okay,
that period from, I think, mid-March to end of July.
I'm in favor, yeah.
Just another note if I may.
Yes, sir.
So maybe our suggestion to the Premier would be, when we respond, perhaps they could approach CADC and waive fees so that the staff could park there.
Possibly. Let the board decide.
Yeah, I mean, let them, let them work that out, right? But that would be an alternative to help DCI and the chamber and all of them say park in there. That would make sense.
Councilor Duffy, did you?
Yes, Your Worship, thank you. I think we know by experience in the 90s, this sort of thing doesn't work, because I echo what Councilor Yankov said, that, and we saw it during the COVID, we all saw it, they were full at 20 to 9 in the morning, there was no place for people coming downtown to shop. But it's an honorable thing to pursue and whatever, I know, but it's not going to work, and I hate to be a wet blanket all the time, but it's not going to work. I would suggest, maybe we suggest back to the Premier that we take another approach to it to show our appreciation to people who are coming downtown to shop by taking the $15,000 and investing in gift packages that every now and then our commissionaires could put a note under the windshield saying, thank you very much for shopping downtown, we appreciate it, and in light of your generosity towards the city, you've won a gift basket you can pick up at Sherrilltown City Hall at any time of your convenience. That way, the parking's there for the shoppers when they come downtown, and the appreciation is there for the randomly picked individuals who shop downtown. That would protect, because paying for parking has a couple of objectives to it. It builds revenue, there's no doubt about that, but it also ensures that nobody pulls in at 8 in the morning and is there at 4:30 in the afternoon, and that's what this doesn't do. And I hate to be a wet blanket, but that's the way it is.
No.
It's not going to help the downtown business people.
But the letter from the Premier is quite clear. It's to waive fees for parking. That's,
Yeah, well.
and I think that's, I don't think they're gonna they're asking the city, let's see, and you know from experience, Councillor Twill, when we were on council, Mayor George McDonald, we saw it during the pandemic, but you know what? DCI, the chamber have to tell their membership, leave the park, and I know that's always easier said.
But see, DCI is speaking here and they're saying, we don't want it because we've seen what it's done to our members. So if we think we're helping our downtown merchants, somebody's wrong. We are, or DCI is. We can't both be right at different positions on the issue.
Councillor Minka.
What about if we do free parking from 10 a.m. on, so people are settled into work and park where they're gonna park, because a lot of people can't then just skip out of the vehicle. Would that help a little bit? Now, the store's open at 9:30, but we just started at 10. So free parking from 10 on. Just throwing it up.
I know, and you know what, I apologize for this coming at the last moment, but as Mr. Kelly can tell you, they started this conversation last week, along with the election age vote also, and all weekend, I was texting the Premier's office about where is it going, and then finally they made a decision just before we came in. So, yeah, just let me finish up. Okay, so Kevin, do you want to just?
I just wanted to say that, sometimes the downtown businesses got to take ownership of some things, and they should just sort of suggest to their employees, I know it's not that hard, easy to do, but saying, please leave the parking there, for your customers.
Yeah.
Like, find another place to park.
Yeah.
You can't park in front of your place of business all day. And like, the ownership got to go back on the shop owners. I mean, we're receiving a gift here, but we're almost ready to push it back, you know, in my opinion.
Thank you, sir. Councillor Bernard?
Yeah, it's actually, and it's a little difficult to hear everybody, but I think I'm picking up the most of it. I'm just wondering, so we got a letter from the Premier's office asking for having free downtown parking, and the government will send us $15,000 for the term that they want to have free parking. Is that correct?
Correct.
So, but we're not sure if the Downtown Business Association even wants that, the Downtown Chamber.
DCI are opposed it.
So why don't we look to agree based on comments come back from DCI?
Exactly.
What's
Okay,
that?
well, I would assume that the government would have been talking to them before they made the offer, but in case they didn't, why don't we agree on the 15,000 based on feedback from DCI?
Yeah, well,
If DCI doesn't want it, then this is not going to go ahead and happen. If they do, then the resolution's passed.
can you hear me okay?
I can.
Yeah, so just got a text from the office and they will be consulting with DCI. So we'll do the same thing. We'll consult with them.
Sure.
Okay. Got a question there, Councillor? You want to read the resolution?
Yes, Your Worship.
Go ahead, there, sir.
Your Worship, moved by Deputy Mayor Cody, sent by Councillor Rivard, that the city accept the offer from the province of PEI to forego the city's on-street parking meter revenues in lieu of a contribution of $15,000 from the province, Your Worship.
And I think I would add a little bit to that to say that in lieu of consultation with DCI.
In lieu of consultation, no, and to consult with, so you want to add a friendly amendment?
And further to consult.
Yes, yes.
And to further consult with DCI and Greater Charlottetown Chamber of Commerce. I think that covers the basis. Is that all right? The friendly amendment? Good? Is that all right, Councillor
That's
Hancock?
great, yeah, that's good. But we'll have to do it really soon.
Well,
Before December 1st.
yeah, we can start this evening, well, no, this evening, we have to go to the Santa Claus period. Are you playing the guitar or am I singing?
I'm playing more.
Okay. Do you want to just read it again there? Kelly, or was it the last word?
It's from December 1st till December 31st, Your Worship.
December 1st to January 1st. Same thing. January 1st we close anyway.
Your Worship?
Just 1 second, we're going to read the resolution.
Your Worship, moved by Deputy Mayor Cody, sent by Councillor Bard, that the city accept the offer from the province of PEI to forego the city's on-street parking meter revenues from December 1st to January 1st,
To 2021.
2021, in lieu of a contribution of $15,000 from the province and further to consult with DCI and the Chamber of Commerce, Your Worship.
Is that all right? Okay, Councillor Bernard.
No, that's good. Just want to let everybody know the bridge is now open on St. Peter's Road where they're doing the.
Okay, thank you for that update. Breaking news from the bridge. Yeah, I was down yesterday. I went through the box culvert. Okay, all those in favor? Councillor Ron?
In favor. In favor.
Are we doing testing at the bridge?
I thought about the bridge, but I guess it's another bridge.
Yes.
Okay, there you go. And the next item, proposed legislation. So I'm just going to give you a little background, Councillor Bernard. And with Mr. Kelly and I went to Mr. Kelly's office. The Minister of Municipal Affairs called, and he was talking about Bill 122, which is to change the Election Age Act to go from 18 to 16. Also, it will affect the, it will make a change in our MGA, the Municipal Government Act, and under the explanatory notes, number 2, they will be allowed to vote, but they cannot run for office. They have to be 18 years old to vote. No, 16 years old to vote, 18 years old to run. So all we want to do is to forward it to FPEIN so that they can gauge the rest of the municipalities here on the island of where we're going with this issue. That's why I'm bringing it to the attention of council. I could have made a decision just from the office of the mayor. I said, no, it should be shared by both offices. Councilor Twill.
Well, to suggest that you can vote at 16 but you can't run for public office, that's a charter case.
Yeah,
I would argue that's a charter case.
that's why we want to forward the FPEIM that you're a member of.
No, even if we do forward on the federation, it's still a charter case. If you can vote at 16, you should be able to run for public office. But nonetheless, I, like other members of council, agreement to forward on the federation municipalities, but I'm not so sure that we should be involved with this.
Nope.
It's not our jurisdiction. It just gets us into another issue that I don't believe, you have the government, you have the opposition Green Party and the Liberal Party, and I think 27 MLAs, I think they can pretty well figure it out in which way it needs to go.
Yeah.
We've got enough on our plate now.
Yeah, but it's a matter of forward to the FPEIM. Councilor Rivera.
We need a motion to just forward it to FPEIA.
Yeah.
FPEIA, okay, I'll put a motion forward then.
Okay, second by Councilor,
I don't think we should be discussing it right now.
Yeah,
It's
good.
a little premature.
Councilor McKay.
I was just going to follow up because I watched the committee meeting with government the other day when this was the topic that they were talking about, and it was basically encouraged to put it back. They want to do further consultations and everything else, so I'm with you. I don't know why
We're just
we're
reiterating that. We got-
involved at this
we have
point.
So I mean, just to follow up, thank you, Councilor McKay. Just to follow up, I mean, they have the staff that are going to do the research, they're going to do the consultations. I
Defer
feel very
till we get
strongly.
more feedback from them.
Should be done at the provincial level.
And that's what the FPEIM
I
is
understand
doing.
that.
Okay, question call? Okay, all those in favor to forward to FPEIM? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, those against? Councilor Bernard, yea or nay?
Sure.
Okay, Councilor Drawn?
In favor?
Okay, opposed, Councilors Twill and McKay. Okay, sir, do you have some other resolutions there?
Yes, Your Worship. Moved by
Councilor.
Councilor McLeod, second by Councilor Duffy, that an additional $30,000 plus all applicable taxes be added to the 2020 sidewalk contract to complete the work during the 2020 contract construction season. Your Worship.
Question there, Councilor Twill?
Where's the work being completed? Where's this money going?
Can we just ask?
Yep.
Do you have that information?
Yeah, so the remaining section of sidewalk that's to be done is North River Road, from Beach Road down to, is it Warburton, I believe is the street there. And the reason why that section is we've had a lot of sub-base issues. The sidewalk is much lower than the road, so we have a lot of issues with safety, especially in the winter months. Really hard to keep that well maintained. A lot of ice gets built up, water in the spring and any major storms. So it's quite a hazard for pedestrians as well. Even when you're plowing, sidewalk should never be lower than the road. So we're trying to improve that area for safety.
Councilor Ramsey?
It looks like it's my board. Scott, what side is there sidewalk going on?
So it's the existing sidewalk. We're
All the way-
raising it up to.
Off of Warburton and keep going.
So it's from the lift station down towards Warburton,
Okay.
raising that section up in front of the pond there.
Excellent.
Down by Hermitage Creek, yeah,
Right,
it's a pretty low area.
thank you. Another vote.
Okay, did you call the question?
Question call.
Question's called. All those in favor?
Aye.
Councilor Bernard?
Aye.
Councilor Drawn?
In favor?
Okay, 10-0. Sir, do you want to read the next one?
Yes, Your Worship. Moved by Councilor McLeod, second by Councilor Duffy, that an additional $29,500 plus all applicable taxes be added to the Nash Lane Allen Creek connection contract to complete the water and sewer installation work during the 2020 construction season.
Nash Drive. Ward 7?
And Your Worship, 25,000 that is recapturable from the property owner.
From where?
Councilor Duran cannot vote
From
on
the
this.
developer.
Oh, sorry, Councilor Duran, because of the person getting the contract, you won't be able to vote on this?
Okay, I never seen this dog. Okay, that's fine.
Just put on the mute and turn off the TV and...
Yeah.
This electronic voting.
So 25,000 is coming from the property owners here, Your Worship, which will go back to offset that 29,500.
Good.
Very good.
Okay. Questions, Bob?
Questions called. All those in favor? Councilor Bernard?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, sir, you want to go to the next one?
Your Worship. Your Worship, moved by Councillor Klaus and by Councillor Duffy, that as per the conditions of the public tender for new road construction, Towers Road to Spencer Drive, the submission of Duffy Construction Limited in the amount of $582,709 plus all applicable taxes be accepted, Your Worship.
Councilor Tweed.
Yeah. Although it did make it to the agenda, I think it's important that back when this discussion took place, we said at the time we were going to add it. The staff had a concern about development, and the development's taking place there, one roadway in. And I did say to Scott during one of our many discussions that we could leave that portion that's going into the development and put the rest, construct the active for transportation venue there. Now, I know.
Point of order, Your Worship.
Point of order. There's a point of order. Can you just give your point of order, sir?
What's being discussed here now is not on the agenda.
Well, you know what, Councillor Duffy, I appreciate that, but you know what? The residents in this area, and Mr. Adams will verify it.
He's continuing, Your Worship. Say more.
Councilor Tweed, thank you. Do you want to say something? As chair of public works.
Okay, so thank you, Councillor Trio. I think if you remember serves me right, when we talked about doing that active transportation on Towers Road,
Yeah.
right, it was once the construction of the development that's going to happen.
Yes.
Right, because if we put something in there now, and
Yes.
then wherever they go to put in their entrance onto Towers Road with the heavy equipment, it would wreck anything that we were doing.
Right.
So we're waiting for that development to be done. This is a separate altogether.
No, I appreciate
right?
that, Councillor.
Right, because the mall is going to be cut off at some point, right? So
Well-
we need access from the bottom of Towers Road
Is-
over to Spencer Drive.
Councilor McLeod,
it's
could I just, sorry, we're still discussing it,
Yeah.
but this is the section between Towers Road and Spencer Drive. This is okay, that has nothing to do with this.
No, it has nothing to do with that.
Okay.
But
Councilor, Deputy Mayor Cody.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'm just curious here. I always thought that when we took over a private street, that it had to be up to a certain standard so we didn't run into this issue of spending taxpayers' money to fix up a street that is not up to, city standards.
Scott, can you answer to that,
well,
please?
I'll make a stab at it first, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
So it isn't a street right now. That's the problem, right?
There's
It's-
stop signs on it, so it's gotta be a street.
Right?
There's stop signs.
There's stop signs, but it hasn't been officially a street. It's just part of the parking lot. And if we don't want to do it, then the mall will just say, you know what, great. Then Towers Road stops at the bottom of
Well, why
Towers
would
Road.
the time of tax?
Your Worship, I have a comment.
Whoa, just let.
So it's in the best interest, of the city to repair that, because to turn it into a road.
Could I get a clarification from the manager? Is it a street right now?
So they've essentially designated it as a driveway. We
Yeah.
look at parking lots as a driveway, any entrances in it.
So it's not a public street?
It's not a public right of way. It was essentially, they put some barriers up and slapped some paint on it and.
But there's a stop sign there, Your Worship.
But it's a stop sign because people were using that driveway as a street, as a street by default, correct?
That's correct. And they put up the stop sign just like, you go drive
Just
around
to
the parking
prevent.
lot, there's stop signs all over the place in their parking lot. So
Yeah, anybody
it would just
stop sign
control
up in
the
the
traffic
property.
within their property.
Okay. Councilor Bernard?
Yeah, I just want to make a comment. J.C. Cody, or Councilor Cody's right. But in this particular circumstance, the city of Charlottetown actually tried to buy this property a number of years ago, when the custodian from New York owned all that property. And the intent was, we took over Towers Road, was to make that connection along that roadway to Spencer Lane. Now, Paul Johnson at the time really couldn't get any concrete answers from him. So for Mr. Banks to come by and offer that piece for free, that just shows up that we have access to Towers Road over to Spencer Lane. So, the city of Charlottetown was looking to buy it at one time. We would have had to fix it up, so we've gotten it for free, and that short section to can't sell property, sometimes go through there would to me be advantageous for everybody.
Yes.
Just
I'd be in favor of it.
And Mr. Kelly?
Just to be clear, Bishop, although, and Mr. Banks sort of brought the idea forward, this land is owned by a capped REIT, and the deal is done with
It's
their
all
firm
REIT.
in Ontario, nothing to do with Mr. Banks, but he did open the door, but staff have been dealing with capped REIT in Ontario.
So it's owned by Real Can?
That's correct.
But it was Mr. Banks that took to cancel.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
Yeah,
Councilor
on behalf of-
Councilor Yankoff.
Okay.
yes, that's true.
That's great, you know, we're gonna do all this infrastructure for vehicle traffic, but I must implore, once again, you know, for the pedestrian, the cycling
Yes,
traffic,
we'll
we're
deal with
doing
that.
done, anything for that.
Councilor Yankoff?
Yeah, just quickly, because I know we're.
I know, thank you very much for watching the clock.
Yeah, so just to back to Councilor Deputy Mayor Cody's comment,
Yes.
this is not going to be precedent setting because it is crucial that developers bring the roads up, which is why we have this new traffic
Correct.
plan to look at, to even have more expectations of developers to, okay, all right, as long as we're clear on that.
Mr. Adams, do we not have an issue with some of the streets that developers want to turn over? And you've already made it very explicitly clear that we will not take it over until it meets our standards?
That's correct.
Well, we won't name them right now, but you do have several, right?
Pardon me?
There are several that are
Yes.
in the queue.
That's correct.
So is this money in?
I think this is a different situation, though, Your Worship.
Just one second. Councilor Deputy Mayor?
No, I got one, yeah.
Is it in the budget there, Mr. Kelly?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Councilor Bernard?
I think this is a different situation than the city taking over a road in a subdivision that's supposed to be up to a certain standard.
We're just taking
I
over the
think
driveway.
this is one of those one-off cases that you look at and say, is this a benefit to the taxpayers? They're offering this piece of land, if we don't want to take it, they have no problem closing it off.
Yeah, we're taking a driveway and turning it into a street. There, right there, Mr. Adams? Thank you very much. Question?
Question called.
Questions called. All those in favor, please raise your hands. One, two,
Mine's up.
just one second. One, two. Okay, Councilor Duran?
All in favor?
Councilor Bernard?
In favor?
Okay, 10-0. Get another one there, sir?
Mayor Bishop, we're going to close session.
Whoa.
So,
Hold on, just
Your
before.
Worship, we can't, we need to go.
Just one of these here. And Councilor Twill, did you want to say something before we go into closed session?
Yes, I certainly do.
Go right ahead.
I most certainly do.
Yes.
Today I received a phone call from a constituent that knew exactly what was on the agenda at the closed door session. So I asked the gentleman, who I had a lot of respect for, how did you know? He knew more about the topic than I did. And he said, well, he heard, you know, someone spilled the beans. And that's all well and good. So, you know, because he knows, and he's talked to some elected officials who knew exactly what was going on, which doesn't surprise me. That's par for the course. What I'm going to do is put a motion on the floor that we don't go behind closed doors, that we go into an open session to discuss this topic. Because it is out there in the community. Someone felt the need to tell someone to lobby certain councillors, and that's, you know, that's the business that we're in. So what I would like to do, Mr. Mayor, and I know you have to go, and maybe, Mr. Mayor, we can put this out till next week.
No, it has to be.
Okay, great, we'll deal with it now. I put a motion on the floor that we go to an open session.
So we have to vote, hold on, so it's moved by Councilor Twill, just one
I'm
second,
in conflict, so
just one second.
I must go home.
With this being a property issue, I think that's the reason it has to stay in
Actually, I
closed
can't.
session.
No, Your Worship, Your Worship.
So, hold on, just let me finish.
Yeah.
So that's why it is going in closed session, because it's a property issue that involves exchange of money for land, and that's where we're at. So, I'm ruling that out of order.
No, Your Worship, you know what?
No.
With all due respect,
But I
sir, the
decided-
office that you hold,
I know.
you know what? This was discussed.
Yeah.
There's people out in the community that are aware of it.
It's under the NDA.
No,
Just one second, just
Okay,
one second.
Councilor Bernard.
Whoa. Just one second. Can you read something there, Mr. Kelly, related to it?
I have the information, Worship, but this is a property matter which should be dealt with in closed session first, and then once agreed, can come out in case council makes a decision one way or the other.
Then we go public.
Yes.
Correct. Okay,
Can I follow up here?
hold on.
Wouldn't that be another question?
Before we go to closed session, I'd like to wish Alicia Packard all the best. This is her last day. Promise and all that.
Okay? And I would like to say, just before we do that, I want to thank the provincial government for stepping up to make sure that we are buying local during this Christmas period. And I think that's reflected by the whole council. So thanks to the Premier and all the bureaucrats and others involved. So, we're going to have to move to a closed session. Someone has to move.
And I think, Your Worship, that's a good point. I think on that resolution that we passed, that 15,000, you know, after talking to DCI, that money can be used towards other ideas to buy.
Yeah, we can work that out. So, we need a motion to go to closed session. Moved by Councillor Ramsey, seconded by Councillor Duffy?
Yep.
Okay, all those in favor, please raise your hand. In favor or against?
No.
Okay, against. Councillor Bernard, in favor or against?
In following the guidelines of the MGA, which we're supposed to follow the rules, yes.
In favor. Councillor Twill, yea or nay?
I'm voting no.
Okay.
Because the information is already up in the public forum, and since it's already up in the public forum, I think in the interest of all members of the constituency, that this should be discussed in a public forum. I'd like to know who was it that told this person?
So,
how did they know?
Opposed, Councillor Twill and Councillor Duran, correct? Moving to a closed session.